Hi guys, welcome back to Daily Dreamer. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me and sharing a dream or two. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. All right, let me take a drink first before I go into this dream. Oh my gosh, so good. All right, I'm going to tell you about this dream that I had last night, and it was pretty amazing. I thought I'd share this with you because something just came up, and I thought it was important. All my dreams are important. Of course, so are yours. So maybe you should share some of yours and let us know what happens with them. Anyways, let's get to it. So I wake up and I come to and I'm standing in an alleyway. And there is a man standing in front of me. And as I go to focus in on his details, he actually morphs into like this tiny mouse. And this mouse, now I'm focusing on this mouse, goes to the right into a building, okay? But I thought it was a sewer, but it wasn't. It was a building. And as he goes into the building, as I'm looking at the building, it morphs into like a creek. Now I'm suddenly in like this forest, and I've got this beautiful creek that is flowing all around me. It was a dark green for the forest. Things were sparkling. It was great. The sun was coming through. Anyways, I go to focus in on the creek itself because you could hear the water running like a beautiful brook in the background. So I go to focus in on the water, and out of the water comes like a real bright green with like bright red and yellow eyes, and it was like a toad or a frog, but the back legs were more like a tadpole, if you will. But it comes out of the water and it gets on land, and then it hops. As it hops, I thought it landed on some twigs and some sticks from the forest, but it wasn't. The more and more I focused, I saw that it actually landed on the bottom of like a cave, because as my eyes and I went to go look at it, I could see this cave. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what's in this cave? This is pretty cool. But I didn't need to go far into the cave, because as soon as I went to go step into the cave, there was this beautiful, huge, like a rustic brown color owl that was there to greet me. And his eyes were bright yellow, and he had such a friendly sense about him. I was just mesmerized by the amazing color that he was, because it was like I said, a rust brown with some black. So I'm focusing on this owl, and I'm just elated by its presence, how calm it was. And I'm waiting to receive a message, but out he flies. And when he flies out, now I look behind me, and I'm no longer in this cave. I am on top of a mountain. And as I'm on top of this mountain, I see this huge eagle. And this eagle just like expands, and it starts to go up. And as it goes up, it's flying, and I'm mesmerized by its size alone. And as I start to watch it, I'm mesmerized, if you will, or excited to see how beautiful and graceful it is. But then I go to look back at the nest that it came from, and I'm just caught up in what's going around me. And it's like this huge vortex, and it's dizzying. It's making me dizzy. And so I focused for a moment. I gathered myself and my bearings, and I kind of held on, because I had this fear going on, because I was afraid of heights, and I was at the top of a mountain, and now fear started to settle in, and I was becoming dizzy. So I was worried I was going to fall. But I gathered my bearings, and I looked up, and when I looked back up, he's still flying around, but I was more centered, more calm, because I was able to actually focus on not this, but that which calmed me. And so as I start to look at him, what do you think happens? Think the scenery changed again? I have no idea, because at that point is when I woke up. So what a dream to have, right? I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was really, really important. So what do you think the dream meant? Okay, well, here's what I think it meant to me. Anyways, when I first came to, I thought, wow, what a dream. I say that about all my dreams. But the second thing that came to my mind was change. That whole dream was something about, it was everything about change. I mean, it didn't matter what it was, everything was always constantly changing around me. And I felt like in my dream I was adapting. Maybe I wasn't adapting enough. Maybe I was adapting just right. I don't know, but it was about change for me. And one thing that Osho says is that the only unchanging thing in life itself is change. And he wasn't wrong on that. We all know that there is nothing that you can change about change itself. It's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, it will never change. Change never changes, yet it's always changing. So having this cosmic human experience that we all wanted, you can do a couple of things when it comes to change yourself, because regardless of whether or not you know it or like it or want it, it's a happening. Okay, so you could choose to do a couple things. You can either choose to go with it and adapt to it and let it happen, or you can choose to let it carry you through on its own, okay, and not change. So you can fight it or you can go with it. If you fight it, just understand that your choices will have consequences, all right? But remember, that was your choice to do so, okay? We will always have turmoil and griefs if we do not accept change in our lives. So if you are like stuck being stubborn or in your way, understand that change will have a way with you. Okay, so you can fight it tooth and nail, but why is it so important for us to keep up with change and always change ourselves? Okay, which we all know happens on a minute by minute basis, second by second. It's important that we keep up with change because we don't want change to take what little energy we do have from us, all right? Because change does require energy. It is important. We are all so exhausted lately, whether it be because of the cold or the flu or lack of sleep, whether it be because of too much mental drama, physical trauma, whatever you want to put to it. We barely have enough energy to sit and take care of our own responsibilities, which is us, when we get home every day from working all day long, okay? I mean, really, who has 5 minutes to go ahead and take for themselves or make for themselves? None of us. And why is that? Because that actually requires a change in your routine. And we don't like change. We already know that this linear time matrix does not give us enough time to make change, to do some self-care and love on us, even if it is only for 5 minutes. But you see, or maybe you don't see, you are being called to do this. You are being called to make change in your life. You have been receiving notifications from the universe to make changes in you, in your choices, in your ways. Some of us, though, are fighting tooth and nail to sit and do that. Some of us don't want to sit and get rid of past issues that we are still carrying around like Atlas did. But the problem with that is that we are not Atlas, and our backs were not sit here and meant to carry such burden. That is why change keeps coming around for you. All right? Change is telling you that by not changing your ways, it's going to be more painful when it does come back around. It's going to keep progressing until you sit and make a change for you. If it no longer serves you, get rid of it. Make room for your new self to come through. You want a new life. You want a new existence. You want better things for yourself. So make room for it. Get rid of the old. Change. Let's try an experiment for the next week, okay? Since none of you seem to have 5 minutes a day to take for yourself, I figured out a way that you don't have to require any minute of the day except for 24 hours in the day. I don't know how many minutes that equates to, but it equals every minute of the day that you need to take care of yourself. And you don't even have to do it by sitting. Check this out. I'm gonna help you out. All right. If you don't have 5 minutes to sit and zen out and meditate, let's start by doing this. We all know that we all are starting with already a lack of energy. Okay. Energy is a tool, and if you know how to use it properly, change will automatically start happening for you. So let's start by doing this. Stop. Stop giving energy to words that suck the life out of you. All right? Follow me here. Energy is a tool. Start participating in it then. contribute to it, use it wisely. If you do that, you're going to watch and see how your life elevates, not only how it elevates you, but elevates those around you. So let's start participating by stopping what energy we do have left and giving it to what we call loaded words. What are loaded words and phrases? Well, let me tell you what they are, because we have many in this language. They are very harsh, violent words that we use every single day, and they conjure up such negative and brutal images without even intending to do so. We do this on a subconscious level because that is how we were taught. That is how we were programmed. I'll give you an example. All right. Remember, words are spells, and we know we were taught things like, it did me in. I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news. I was cut off in traffic. Oh, the cake was to die for. What a killer song. Take a hit of this. My feet are killing me. Even hell, oh. Instead of saying hi, we say hello, or I'm broke. These are the loaded words that dull our senses. Okay, why is that? Because these are the words that we were taught to always have it, and they mentally sabotage us. It seems like anything that comes out of our mouths, like they're just nothing but negative words, negative energy eating words that keep us in a constant state of lower vibration. These are contrary to what we are actually trying to create for ourselves, which is something better. So you're always battling yourself. You're always beating yourself up in the process. These words keep us entrapped. It continues to feed negative energy into hanging around us forever. We do this when we judge people and ideas. We do it all the time. It's our pathetic effort to go ahead and formulate opinions and identify what we're experiencing. Like when we say, those jerks are poisoning us, or I hope they get what's coming to them. I mean, you can go on and on and on, but there's no point in keeping those old, dilapidated, and controlling energies in your mouth and in place. Okay? People that see this and understand it, they are changing their tone. They're changing their words. Those who see it and can understand it, they learn to let it go. They learn to stop giving it energy, and they learn to reshape their own words. It starts to reshape them. And now they're able to see how that intrinsic power of negativity starts to dissipate. And when we realize how infected our words are, we're actually able then at that point to break the cycle. And we can see that something bigger and better is starting to emerge for ourselves. The beauty of this whole thing, this language change that I'm asking you to do on a minute-by-minute basis, is that when you apply it, it works. So let's start. Let's take the negative aspects out of our own self-judgments, for starters, okay? Let's see how things soften up for you. For example, when you find yourself saying things like, oh, I'm such an a-hole, or, oh, I can't believe how stupid I was, change it up. Say something instead like, wow, I guess I really still have a lot of things to learn. Everyone is already suffering enough as it is. We live in a mentally sabotaging state of mind. So let's start being more kind and gentler to ourselves and to others. Did you know that when we have angry, violent, harsh, and negative language, we weaken our immune system, thus causing health issues for ourselves? Did you know that? It is a mindless behavior. It's subconscious. It is just automatic. But this is a perfect example of how energetic systems seek to grow, all right? Whether it be shadow energies or life-giving energies. It's a perfect example. We need to start choosing wisely what we want to be a part of, now more than ever, because times are changing and they are becoming increasingly confusing and more of that vortex whirlwind spinning up, all right? You can use energy and awareness as a ladder of sorts. You can elevate your perspective by doing that. And by doing so, it's going to lead you out of one worldview and state of mind into a whole new existence. Once you can see this, you can understand at this point how to actually detach yourself from the mechanism that holds you back. Because that is what's holding you back, are your words. Now you literally can leave the draining energetic vortex of the matrix that holds you in place. That's important, guys. Just changing your language alone is going to change your outlook, your thoughts, and your life. I guarantee it. The rest, of course, it's going to follow up. It's going to follow right behind. And now you start opening up to things, to bigger and better things, like the flower does to the sun. All right? And as we change, so does the world. It reminds me of a saying by Osho. He said, and I love this, give life to things that are beautiful. I'm going to paraphrase. Don't give life to things that are ugly, because you don't have much time. You don't have much energy to waste. With such a small life, with such a small energy source, it's simply stupid to waste it in sadness, in anger, in hatred, and in jealousy. Use it in love. Use it in some creative act. Use it in friendship. Use it in meditation. Just do something positive with it, because it will take you higher. And the higher that you go, the more energy sources become available to you. And at the highest point of consciousness, you are almost a god. It is in your hands. I love Osho. Transformation of the whole begins with each one of us right here. Your shift is an energetic one, and it all stems from thoughts, which give birth to words, which then sets things in motion. And if we change, then everything changes. Enjoy this shift. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for joining me on The Daily Dreamer. Sweet dreams and many blessings.